Ever felt like your friends are pushing you to spend money you'd rather save? Peer pressure is a tricky beast. It doesn't always come in the form of a friend egging you on to do something you're not comfortable with. Sometimes it's more subtle, like when you're shopping with your friends and everyone else is buying something. Suddenly, you feel this invisible force compelling you to buy something too, even if you don't really need it. Imagine this scenario. You're at the mall with your friends, browsing through the latest video game releases. You're all excited about the newest edition of a popular game, but the price tag makes your heart sink. It's not exactly cheap, and you've been saving up for something else. However, all your friends are ready to make the purchase, and you feel the pressure building up. There's a part of you that's screaming, "Don't do it!" But there's also another voice, quieter but persistent, saying, "Come on, everyone else is getting it. You don't want to be the only one without it, do you?" So, with a heavy heart, you pull out your wallet and buy the game. Sounds familiar? That's what we call financial peer pressure. It's when the influence of your peers affects your spending habits, pushing you to make purchases you wouldn't normally make. The thing about peer pressure is that it's often not intentional. Your friends probably aren't trying to make you spend your money irresponsibly. They're just excited about something and they want to share that excitement with you. But in the moment, it can feel like you're in a pressure cooker, with the heat turning up every time someone else makes a purchase. The key to dealing with financial peer pressure is awareness. Once you recognize it for what it is, you can start making conscious decisions about your spending, rather than just going with the flow. Remember, it's your money and you have the power to decide how you want to spend it. It's okay to say no when something doesn't align with your financial goals. And that's how peer pressure can sneak into our wallets. But what happens when we give in to that pressure? Well, let's look at this through the lens of our story from scene 1. Remember our friend who felt the pull to buy the latest smartphone because all their friends had one? When they succumbed to that pressure, it set off a chain of events, much like a line of dominoes toppling over. First off, they had to cough up a hefty amount for the new phone, which meant dipping into their savings. This might not seem like a big deal in the short term, but it's the first step down a slippery slope. When we start taking money out of our savings for non-essential purchases, we're setting a dangerous precedent. Savings are meant for future needs or emergencies, and dipping into them for instant gratification can leave us vulnerable when we really need that backup. Worse still, if our friend didn't have enough savings, they might have turned to credit. Credit can be a useful tool when used responsibly, but it's not free money. It needs to be paid back, often with interest. If we're not careful, we can find ourselves sinking into a cycle of debt that can be incredibly hard to break free from. And let's not forget about the psychological impact. The initial thrill of having the new phone soon wears off, but the financial consequences linger. The stress and worry of debt or depleted savings can have a significant impact on our mental health. And the real kicker? The cycle often doesn't stop with one purchase. Once we've given in to peer pressure once, it becomes easier to do it again. And each time, the financial and psychological toll increases, like a line of dominoes, one toppling into the next. So, giving in to peer pressure can start a domino effect that's hard to stop. But the good news is, it's not an inevitable outcome. We have the power to resist, to make our own choices, and to manage our money responsibly. But more on that in our next scene. But what if we could resist that pressure? Quite a thought, isn't it? The power to resist financial peer pressure is not only possible, it's within your grasp. Let's delve into how you can harness this power. Firstly, setting personal financial goals is a cornerstone of financial independence. It's like a compass, guiding you through the stormy seas of peer pressure. By knowing what you're saving for, be it a new laptop, a car, or even a college fund, it becomes easier to resist the urge to splurge on less important things. This is not about denying yourself fun, but about prioritizing your wants and needs. Picture it like this. You're on a journey, and your financial goals are the map leading you to your desired destination. Now let's talk about the power of saying no. It might sound simple, but it's often overlooked. Saying no is like a shield, protecting you from the onslaught of peer pressure. You might worry about coming off as uncool or missing out, but standing your ground is actually a sign of maturity and self-confidence. It's not about being a party pooper, but about making responsible choices that align with your goals. Remember the story from scene 1? Our protagonist was faced with a decision: to buy an expensive concert ticket or save for their dream laptop. Armed with a clear financial goal and the power to say no, they were able to resist the pressure and make a choice that served their best interest. Practicing saying no might feel uncomfortable at first. It's like flexing a muscle you haven't used much before. But with time and consistency, it becomes easier, and you'll find yourself resisting pressure with grace and confidence. So next time you're faced with a decision that could derail your financial goals, remember the power of no. It's okay to say no to things that don't serve your best interests. It's okay to prioritize your financial future over instant gratification. Remember, it's your money and you have the power to say no. But what does this look like in the real world, you might ask? Well, let's dive into some real-life examples of teenagers who have successfully resisted financial peer pressure. Take, for instance, Mia, a high school sophomore. Her group of friends were all about the latest fashion trends. Every other week, they'd be sporting new clothes from the most popular brands. Mia, however, chose not to give in to the pressure. She knew her part-time job earnings were better saved for her college fund. So, instead of splurging, she thrifted, recycled, and restyled her outfits. And guess what? She became known for her unique style and even started a blog sharing her fashion hacks. Then, there's Alex, an avid gamer. When his friends decided to spend a hefty sum on the latest gaming console, he chose not to. He understood that his old console still worked perfectly fine and he'd rather save up for a car. His decision initially earned him some teasing, but Alex stood his ground. A few months later, when he bought his first car, his friends were left in awe. And let's not forget about Lily, who loved going out for meals with her friends. When they started frequenting expensive restaurants, Lily opted to invite them over for homemade meals instead. She showcased her cooking skills and turned dinner into a fun event at her place. Not only did she save money, but her friends also started looking forward to these home-cooked meal nights. These stories are not exceptions. They are examples of how it's entirely possible to resist the urge to spend just to fit in. They show that making responsible spending choices isn't about missing out. It's about being smart with your money and realizing what truly matters. So remember, when faced with financial peer pressure, it's okay to say no. It's okay to make choices that align with your financial goals. It's okay to be different because, at the end of the day, your financial future is in your hands. These stories show that resisting peer pressure isn't just possible, it's empowering. So how can you start resisting financial peer pressure? Let's dive right into it. The first tool in your arsenal is knowledge. Financial education is key. Understanding how money works, how to budget, save, and invest can give you the confidence to make smart decisions and resist pressure from peers. Take advantage of free resources online, read up on personal finance books, or even consider taking a course. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be. Next up is planning. A well-thought-out financial plan can serve as your roadmap, guiding you towards your financial goals while helping you avoid unnecessary detours. When you have a plan, it's easier to say no to impulse buys or expensive outings that don't align with your goals. Remember, it's your money and your future, so plan accordingly. Thirdly, practice saying no. It might be uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. You don't have to attend every expensive outing or buy the latest gadget just because your friends are. It's okay to prioritize your financial health over fitting in. Another handy tool is setting up a savings account. This can serve as a buffer, helping you resist the temptation to spend needlessly. Plus, it's always good to have a safety net. You never know when you might need it. Lastly, find a mentor or a role model. This could be a parent, a teacher, a successful entrepreneur, or even a personal finance blogger. Having someone to look up to can inspire you to stay on track and make wise financial choices. One more thing, don't forget to reward yourself occasionally. It's not about denying yourself all the fun things in life. It's about making smart choices and finding a balance. So when you reach a financial goal, treat yourself. It can motivate you to keep going. With these tools, you can start making smarter financial decisions today. Don't wait for tomorrow or next week. Start now. You've got this. Scene script. Let's quickly go over what we've learned. We've embarked on quite a journey today, navigating the choppy waters of peer pressure and its impact on our financial decisions. It's a bit like being in a pressure cooker, isn't it? The heat is on, your friends are pushing you to spend, and you're trying to stay cool and make smart choices. We've examined the domino effect, where one ill-advised purchase can kick off a chain reaction of financial mishaps. Remember, it's not just about that one extravagant pair of shoes or the latest video game console. It's about the potential for spiraling into a cycle of unnecessary spending. But fear not. We've also discovered the power of the word no. A simple, firm refusal can be your greatest ally in the battle against peer pressure. It's not always easy to say, but it can save you a lot of hassle and money in the long run. And then came the reality check. Through real-life examples, we've seen how peer pressure can lead to financial woe. We've heard the stories, seen the consequences, and hopefully, we've learned a thing or two about what not to do. Finally, we've armed ourselves with a toolkit of strategies to resist financial peer pressure. From setting a budget to finding a financial mentor, these tools can help us stand our ground and make responsible spending choices. Throughout this journey, we've learned that dealing with peer pressure is not just about resisting the urge to spend. It's about understanding the motivations behind our decisions, recognizing the potential pitfalls, and arming ourselves with the tools and knowledge to make better choices. So, next time you're faced with that pressure to spend, remember what you've learned today. Think about the domino effect. Harness the power of no, reflect on the real-life examples, and reach for your toolkit. Remember, it's your money, your choice. So what's your next step? It's time to put what you've learned into action. It's not just about absorbing this information yourself, but also about spreading the word. You've got the power to start a ripple effect. Share this video with your friends, your classmates, your teammates. Open up a dialogue about financial peer pressure. It's a topic not often talked about, but it's so important. Don't just stop there. Hit the subscribe button and join our community. We're here to support each other, and your voice matters. Share your own experiences in the comment section below. How have you dealt with financial peer pressure? What strategies worked for you? Your story could be a lifeline for someone else struggling with the same issues. Remember, knowledge is power. And when we share that knowledge, we amplify its power. Together, we can make smart financial decisions and resist peer pressure. Thanks for watching.